That's okay.
But yes, just start off. How's your preseason been going? Like getting ready for the season this weekend. Just tell me how you're feeling.
Yeah, preseason is good. This is my first preseason at Michigan, which is very different from like all my previous years at Minnesota, and then prior to that, just like club. So very different. But season is going really well. I was pushing a lot of difficulty this summer. It was also my first U.S. championship, so I never really took a break. Um, since season because right after season, I went right into training for U.S. championships. But um, training went really, really well though. I This is probably the longest duration of time that I've gone like injury free, and I'm gonna knock on wood because I've struggled with injuries my whole life, and I still am like struggling with like chronic injuries. I have compartment syndrome in my legs, which is an ongoing injury I'm always dealing with, which I did get surgery for, but unfortunately did not work. So that's something I'm always dealing with, but I don't have any like acute injuries at the moment, which has been very, very nice. And I think it's mainly because I working with like the coaches and the strength coach, I found like a really good balance where I can push myself, but I don't cross the line of like going too far and causing injury. So I spent all preseason getting new skills, really pushing like triple pike. Um, which I still am really pushing. I definitely taken a little bit of a step back from how intense I was now that season's starting, and I'm anticipating working or competing multiple weekends in a row. So I have to be really smart, and there's been a lot of really big injuries with that skill of recently. So that definitely like scared me a little bit because my biggest fear is another lower leg injury. So I have been very like strategic with how things are and like accepting that I can't like push myself every single day. So it's been going really well, but I've added a lot of difficulty. Beginning of season, like I feel like this is definitely the best I've ever looked for this early on, which scared me like a little bit at first because I was like, oh my god, like is it like too good to be true? Like I feel because I the routine I have now, I'm like ready. I This is the routine I was planning for end of the season. So I was like, oh God, like am I peaking too soon? So I am like forcing myself to take a little bit of step back and purposely do a little bit easier things in the first few meets, especially since I have winter cup end of February, which I've never gone to as well. So that's a whole other thing that I'm like thinking about because last season they I did every single meet. I was like one of the only people on the team to do every single meet, and I like was not anticipating that, and it was like 7 weekends in a row. Where this year I think they're giving me like the opportunity to pick and choose kind of what I want to do, um, especially because I have Winter Cup and they don't want me to burn out before. So that's a new thing I'm kind of trying to think about, anticipate, and just make sure I'm like at my peak for Winter Cup, but also being the best I can be for the team. So it's kind of a weird balance doing elite.
Well, I know you talked about upgrades, obviously. Like I remember at
Mhm.
championships on vault, we were like, man, he could triple that vault.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
then you're doing like full twisting triple pike on Instagram and like all
Mhm.
this crazy stuff. So like, what do you anticipate a upgraded vault, and then what new
Mhm.
floor passes are you working with?
Yeah. So vault is since it's newer for me. Like I only started vaulting when I was like 17. It's very like scary, and I have I have the potential to do like triple full in my timers. Like for double pike, I can do double pike. It's more the fear aspect on what's hard for me to upgrade. Just because I've had multiple injuries on vault. So vault, I'm like really taking my time with because I don't want to push a new vault for competition and then end up getting hurt. So as of now, I actually was training half on for a like beginning of season. Like I completely like stopped pushing Yuchenko. Like I didn't stop it, but I was still doing like maintaining it. But I have like the twisting awareness to do half on. So I was really pushing a half on, double full off, and it's like almost there. I'm still definitely working it, and that's more of a long-term goal um, to get because that'll add about 2/10. But I'm always training like double pike timers. That's it's a little bit tricky with Yuchenko because you can't do like you could theoretically do like a Yuchenko double pike and a back Yuchenko 2.5, but like the block on how you go off the vault is like completely different for those. So I kind of have to choose if I'm gonna do a twisting vault or a flipping vault. So this season I'm most likely gonna be doing Yuchenko 2.5 again.
Mhm.
Um, and hopefully the half on double full will make an appearance at some point.
Yeah.
Um, but for vault, at least of now, it's more of a long term goal with the double pipe by like 2028 and like the half on double full as the second vault by like 2028. So I can have two really good vaults because vault's always been a little bit hard for me, but I have the technique and potential. It's just a mental thing. Like right now, like I could easily probably do Yushenko double pike and double triple full. I just have to like gain a little bit more confidence. So yeah.
Yeah. And,
Um,
and then are you we doing any different tumbling passes than what you did at US Championships this year?
Yeah, so I'm pushing the forward tumbling. That's like the hardest thing for me. Coming from trampoline and tumbling, I didn't do any forward skills
Yeah.
tumbling wise. I mean I did do trampoline. So I have the awareness for forward skills because I would be doing like triple front with a half and double front forward with like 1.5. It's more of doing it on the hard floor. So really pushing. I was pushing double front for a minute. But as of now, pushing like double front pike, um, and just gain. That's like another one of those things that I have the strength in. I just need to gain some more confidence. I'm like taking my time, um, but pushing double front and double front pike. Those are two new passes for me. Just getting awareness. Also, I've never done blind landings, so I've always half done like half out of everything.
Yeah.
Forwards, at least in tram tumbling, like blind landings is not a thing. So getting used to that, like the awareness for that has been hard for me. But as of now, it's double front pike. That's like a newer pass, and all my other passes in my routine are things I've done. Nothing brand new. It's just like a little bit of a smarter construction to get a few more tenths. Like a back 2.5 down the side.
Mhm.
Been really pushing artistry and trying to like add some fun new things. I have like an aerial and like a backhand spring step out in my routine.
Yeah.
So that's really fun. Trying to add in like a switch leap or a switch half. It's definitely like a lot of cardio. Like it's a risk doing that things because at the end of my routine, like if I don't need to do it, but I'm like way more tired doing it. But I'm also like I want to see people having fun with this new artistry thing. So I'm trying to like add these things in, even like though there's a chance it makes me more tired. Again, I'm training the triple pike pretty hard. I took a break from the triple double. I was doing the triple double layout for a while up until championships. I was actually planning on doing it at US championships, and then about a week before it got like kind of scary for me, and I was like, I'm gonna play it safe. Like I don't need to go out there and like do this crazy routine. So that's always on the back of my mind. But that's again similar to vault. I kind of have to choose one skill and commit. And the triple double layout, it's very taxing on my body. Even though triple pike is as well, it's like a little bit less for some reason. I don't know why. I can do it a little bit easier. So as of now, I'm really pushing triple pike over triple double layout, but that's always like I've always got that to go back on because I have done it like competed a few times. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like what I really want to push forward going into like this season and especially towards 2028. But yeah, so those are my newish things.
Yeah, I know at championships, like you were doing wolf turns. Have
Yeah,
you just been kind
I
of playing
wanna.
with anything?
My plan this year is like every meet I want to change my artistry somehow. Because I do think like it can get boring doing the same thing over and over and over again. So like the first meet I did an aerial, this next one it's kind of gonna be like the week of. I'm gonna be like, what do I want to add? I want to try a wolf turn at one of them, a switch leap at one of them. In my CGA routine, I did like a switch leap and like a straddle jump. So I think that'll be something really fun for me to play with. Is like each week, kind of being like, okay, what's something new or like a little pizzazz I can add to like each routine. Um, Something I really want to do, which I actually have talked to Shao about, is having at home meets. Like a song, not necessarily choreographed to, but like either a remixed song or like just one song that like kind of aligns with my passes that just like plays in the background because I'm like that could be fun. Like
Yeah.
it's not like anything choreographed. It's just like when I salute, like this song plays or something like that. So I this is since it's I only have one more season on the team after this. I'm trying to like be creative and make like as big of an impact or change I can. So yeah, those are a few other things.
Yeah, well, I like that because it's kind of like with the women, like they have their theme
Mhm.
songs, but it's not necessarily
Yes.
choreographed
Yeah,
to.
yeah, exactly. That's where we got the like inspiration from. Like the women's team here at Michigan, each of them on Beam have a, like their song and they practice to it as well. So I was like, why can't we do that? Like I'd probably end up choosing like Charlie XCX or something like that, but like that would hype me up so much more than what like whatever we have in the background on
Yeah.
like background. So um yeah.
So I know you obviously told this story a lot, but you mentioned like you've only been vaulting since 2017. So
Mhm.
where did you initially like want be like, okay, I'm going to transition to artistic gymnastics? Like, kind of how did that come about?
Yeah. So I did trampoline and tumbling almost my whole life. I started that when I was 6 after doing like rec classes. Um, and I wouldn't say I necessarily chose to be in tram and tumbling. It was kind of just like the gym I was at had the program, and my parents were like, sure, we'll put you in this. And I ended up doing like really well. I like went to world championships. But it wasn't until I would say like high school that I started to realize like I really do like artistic because
Yeah.
I would always watch like the Olympics and like in my head like I would watch the Olympics and envision myself doing artistic gymnastics at the Olympics and not trim and tumbling. But it wasn't until I was in high school that I like realized that and was like, wow, I actually really like artistic. Um, and it's something like I want to try. And I felt like my gymnastics was like capable of being artistic. Even with like my technique, I had like some artistic qualities that some trampoline and tumbling gymnasts don't have because the gym I was at was also heavily artistic. So my coaches like kind of trained me in both. Um, and then so as I was getting close to finishing high school, I was like, okay, I really like artistic and trampoline tumbling is coming to an end. Like I can't do it in college, like as a sport, or I'll have to just like find a local gym. So there was no boys team like at my gym at the time. It was heavily just like women's
You're at
team.
TCT,
So
right?
yeah, actually at this time I was not at TCT. I was at a gym called Gleason's Gymnastics.
Okay.
Um, but there was a boys team, but it was like level 4 was like the max. So I was like, okay, this is not like a boys team. So my trampoline tumbling coach and he was like, I'll coach you in it. So I did my whole first season like completely by myself with my coach who also had no idea like what was going on. There were so many meets. Every single meet, I would get some type of deduction for like not having something or doing something wrong. Like every single meet, like because we just didn't even know like we knew the rules, but there were so many rules that like we didn't know.
Yeah.
So the whole first year was crazy. It was crazy that I made it to like nationals my first year. I don't know how I did that. Um, and I ended up doing like really good though. So that's when I was like, okay, I want to do this for college. But I wanted to finish out trim tumbling until I graduated. So that's kind of how I ended up going into it. And then I switched to TCT, and then that's where I got a lot more help because there was a team, really good artistic coaches. Um, so that's I think when I got really good.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I would say the main reason I switched was because I really wanted to, and the fact that I could do it in college. So yeah.
What was your first year on in artistic?
My first year was it was my sophomore year of high school was the first I was like 16, yeah, 16.
Okay,
Junior year was COVID and I actually didn't compete the whole year or I started competing the whole year. COVID happened, so I didn't compete and then I came back senior year. So only competed 2 seasons. And
gotcha.
then also my senior year I had a really big injury that like stopped me from competing at nationals. So I competed only about 1 year total before going to college.
Gotcha. And then
Yeah.
I want something I want to ask you about. I know you obviously you trained with TCT, so you trained with like
Mhm.
a lot of those gymnasts. You
Yeah.
also didn't you train with SUNY when you guys were little for a
Yeah.
while?
Yeah. So that's the I've been at a lot of gyms in Minnesota. Um, I briefly started at this gym called Flips Gymnastics. They have like some college gymnasts now, but left there because there was no boys classes. It was
Yeah.
like mainly a women's gym. I left there when I was like 4. So I went to Midwest Gymnastics when I was 5, and I'm like the same age as Suni, so we both like joined at like the same time. And we weren't in like classes together or anything, but we were definitely like the two like youngest and best people in the gym, and we were pretty similar skill level, at least tumbling wise, growing up. So it was funny. Like I would like tell my parents like, "Oh my God, Suni got a double A. Like I need to get a double A now," and then I would like get a double A next week. Um, so there was like a brief period where we were just like in the same gym. We didn't necessarily train together, but
Yeah.
it was like the same room, and she definitely like pushed me to get all these new skills. So she was like such a big inspiration for me since I was like 6. So
Yeah, and then training with like Grace McCollum, like going to the Olympics
mhm.
in that era and like Lexi Zeiss and everything were those kind of like inspiring
Yeah,
figures for you too?
yeah, definitely because I didn't really train with them until I had gone to Minnesota. I was at TCT my senior year, but I was mainly with the boys team because there was another level 10 gymnast
Mhm.
on the boys team, and there was a coach at the time, like a head coach. So I wasn't necessarily with them that year, but when I went to Minnesota, I still kept training at TCT just because they didn't have a floor in their gym or a vault. So I actually trained like by myself. Um, and the head coach for the men's team left and all the other teammates left, so it was just like children. So the elite team at TCT, which was like Lexi Zeiss, Grace McCallum, and like
Like Caitlin.
L Mueller, and yeah, they all are who I would like hang out and train with, which was really good because I mean, they do floor and vault, so it was like pretty similar, and we were all like good friends, and they were very motivating too, just because they were elite aside from like the level 10s, and like men's gymnastics is heavier on the elite side than like the way like a level 10 gymnast would train. So they became like another set of teammates, like the whole women's program there. And I think that helped a lot and like also got me to do like beam because I was just like always there. Um, so I definitely like fell in love with like women's gymnastics at the same time
Yeah.
during the whole year.
Do you have any inspirations like outside of the girls you did train with or like
Mhm.
gymnasts who like who kind of like inspired you?
Yeah, I think growing up, my favorite gymnast, women's I feel growing up I like only watched women's gymnastics actually. So um I Michaela Maroney, I would say for me, was such a big inspiration, especially like during 2012, and even more post 2016, um, or like around 2016 when everything was coming out. Just like her personality and like
Yeah.
strength and stuff was really inspiring. Um, but yeah, she's just like such a powerhouse, but also just like her like level of sass. I was always like, oh my God, like I want that like I hate this word, but like aura
Yeah.
that like that like she had. I don't even know how to describe it. Um
Something I wanted to ask you about just because like I purely find it entertaining is when you
mhm,
create content with Jude and Ben,
mhm,
those videos are just always so entertaining and
yeah.
it's like your personality comes out. So like tell me like just about them, that relationship you had
Mhm.
with them, and then just like how you guys kind of started like making those videos when you were all on the same team.
Yeah. So basically I knew Jude from my sophomore year of high school when I first started artistic. He was like the probably the first other gymnast to like become friends with me or like at least like notice me and like at meets we would like see each other. He was like my first like artistic friend. So that's how I met Jude. He's from Iowa, so we didn't always like see each other, and we didn't really become like good friends until I went to Minnesota. Um, and I went to Minnesota my sophomore year. So he had been on the team, and when I came, he actually retired and was team manager. So we never like trained together. And then Ben came when I went to Minnesota as well. And we kind of just like clicked off the bat. I don't even like remember necessarily when like we started becoming like best friends, but it just like happened. And then we never like planned on making content together. We just one week were doing like a mic'd up. Like every person on the team did a mic'd up. So we Ben and I did a mic'd up and it did like really really well on our Instagram. So we were like, oh, that was easy. Let's just do like a part two. And then it did really really well. And Jude is really really into content. So everything we make, he like edits. Pretty much everything content wise was planned by Jude and Ben and I would he would just be like, "Here, take the mics." So we genuinely like everything was always unplanned, and we just go into practice and put on the mics and record a video. And there was always like hours and hours and hours that we would have to like cut down. But like it was so fun making the videos because they're so genuine. Like
Yeah.
we didn't like plan any bits. It was like genuinely like how we are at practice. So and they were such a big part of like my first that was I would say like my breakout year in artistic because they made the gym just so fun and it didn't even feel like I was like training at that point. It felt like I was just like going to hang out with my friends and like we were doing like some flips.
Yeah.
So I give them a lot of credit for why I did so good that first year at Minnesota. Because I like loved being in the gym again. So yeah.
Yeah, well, every like when you just post videos like that, like you doing like the dance elements, you doing
Yeah.
beats, everything, like, do you ever feel like, the since you kind of like you mentioned like your breakout year, like you've kind
Mhm.
of been able to like pave your own path in terms of like what you want to do in gymnastics and just like, what you showcase as well?
Yeah, I think I think that was a big realization I had when I switched to artistic. I was like in trim tumbling for so long and just thought I like should keep doing this because I it was what I was good at. But then I had this realization like, oh, I can actually do whatever I want. Like nobody's holding a gun to my head.
Yeah.
So I think that switch really like sparked my brain and like wanting to just like do gymnastics as myself and creating my own like sense of identity in gymnastics and like like paving my own path. Um, and I think they helped me a lot with that because I could like be very open and I wasn't on a team that was very like copy and paste for like every individual. And the coach, Mike Burns, was very open to letting us do whatever we want. So I think, yeah, they definitely helped me with that in just creating and like finding myself within gymnastics, but also like being able to do well. Um, so yeah, I don't know if that was the
No,
best
yeah.
answer.
Uh, I wanted to ask you about, when did the idea to transfer to Michigan, can you just kind of explain to me how that came about and then, you know, how it was making that decision?
Mhm. Yeah, so that was definitely like the hardest decision of my life. So when I graduated high school and ended up going to Minnesota, I loved Minnesota so much and the whole program, but I kind of in my head at the time I was like, this is perfect. Like I don't need to go D1. Like this is great. But I think in the back of my head, like subconsciously, I knew I could do more. And I didn't really realize this until summer or yeah, summer going into my junior year. Um, the Minnesota team, like the gym was taken away,
Right.
and I was always training at TCT, but I was like by myself, like without necessarily a coach. Like I was with the girls team, but like I'm not like on the girls team, so I was like kind of by myself at the same time. Um, During this whole period, because the Minnesota team they would like stay at the gym when I would go there, just because like for the level of gymnastics I was doing, I couldn't just do it on a rod floor and then just pray I could do it at a competition. Like I needed a real floor. Um, so that was like already a struggle. And then when we lost the gym at Minnesota, it was like a big mess. And we were bouncing around different gyms, and I was driving like 3 hours a day because there was no gyms close to the U of M campus. So every day I was driving like minimum, like, yeah, like genuinely 3 hours because I would do strength and conditioning every single morning as well. So I would drive like 30 minutes to there, back to school, another 45 minutes to TCT, back to school. And after a while, I was like, this is like really unattainable. I can't keep driving 3 hours a day, being a college student. Um, like it was really hard.
Yeah.
And I didn't I didn't like plan on transferring. I was just like, I'm just gonna keep dealing with this. And then someone told me like maybe you should put yourself in the transfer portal. And I was like, yeah, right. And they were like, I think there's a lot of coaches that want you on their team. So I looked at my eligibility and I was like, okay, I actually have like 3 more years. Like might as well. And so I put my name in. I was in Los Angeles when this happened too. I put my name in, and then like the next day, I had already received like a call, an email from like colleges like wanting me to come visit. And this was in August, like a few weeks before school started. And I even had a college like asking if I could start in 3 weeks. And I was like, oh my God, this was like really overwhelming. And I was like freaking out because they wanted to like fly me up the next day to get me on the team. And I was like, like I just like didn't expect it because in high school like nobody wanted me, and
Right.
then all of a sudden like every college was like asking. So I like thought about it a lot. I didn't tell the Minnesota team either until later because I was like I don't want it to seem like I was leaving them because they weren't like good enough.
Mhm.
I just knew I had bigger aspirations, and if I stayed at Minnesota like I would be kind of giving up on them a little bit.
Right.
Um, so, and it was a really big opportunity, and I think all of them would have taken it at the same time. So, I was like, the worst that happens, I go on these visits, and I don't like any of the colleges.
This again. Okay, so I love to hear you say like just like take me through all that because that's like I feel like sometimes like people wouldn't like talk about that in that way.
Mhm.
So it's great to hear that like especially you chose Michigan because of the culture. So I
Mhm.
kind of what I wanted to ask you about like who on Michigan, if there is like particular people is kind of like in your corners, like supporting you, like maybe on a
Mhm.
rough practice day, like who do you kind of turn to?
Yeah. So this year, especially, the team's so much smaller. I feel like, and the team's definitely younger. We lost 9 seasons. The team is very close. There isn't like anyone on the team I would say I'm like not close with. Um, but specifically on the team, my two like best friends of the team I always turn to are like Landon Blixt and Eli Osuna. Eli Osuna I went on the visit with actually to here, so we became friends right then, and we also like decided while we were on the trip we were like we went all on all of our trips together. Like we visited all colleges together. We decided like we wanted to go to Michigan like together while we were here. So I already like had that friend before I even came here, and now that he's here, we were like instantly friends. And then Landon Blix is another one of my best friends on the team. We he was my host when I came here, so he's a really big reason why um I chose to come here. And then Eli was on that trip, so we all kind of, we met like on that trip, the three of us. So those two I'm always turning to at practice. Like we are like so funny at practice. We plan all of our like events together. So I'm always turning to them. They're definitely like my best friends, and we get along like really well. Like outside of the gym, we're always hanging out. So I'd say specifically, those are like my closest friends on the team. Yeah.
What would you ever imagine like with how late you came into the program and everything, like what was that feeling like winning a national title, having such a great floor routine to help kind of lead them there? You just
Mhm.
take me through that day and that night.
Yeah. So I know like we're not supposed to say this, but going into NCAA's, like I didn't expect us to win. I didn't. I mean, I didn't like think we were not going to win, but I wasn't going in being like, we are here to win, like we are going to win. Like I just like my brain, I don't like thinking like that because um I always get scared. A, I'm gonna jinx it, and I also just don't like going into a competition with a like a number objective. I like going into a competition being like, I'm gonna do really good, or like I'm gonna eat this floor routine up, or I'm gonna like bust down. Like I don't, I or like I don't like going in. And this is something I learned going from tram and tumbling that I'm really grateful for. Like competing at the high level, I can't go into a world championships thinking I'm gonna be the world champion. Like
Right,
I
yeah.
went into world championships with a like personal like a goal. So going in NCAA is like I was like I want to do a good floor routine and leave here not feeling like I let the team down in any way or not let myself down and just like enjoy the experience. We're at home. Like this will never happen again. So I like it wasn't until like halfway through the meet we're not supposed to like look at scores. That's like one of our team rules is during the meet we don't look at scores. And then it was a little over halfway. I like accidentally heard overhead that we were leading, and I was like, oh my god, wait, what? Like, are we actually leading? But I was like, ah, whatever. Like it's halfway through the meet, and then we got to the fifth event, and I accidentally overheard that we were in second now, and I was like, oh shoot. I think we were in second. Maybe we were leading. So when we got to vault, I actually looked at the scores. Oh my god, we're actually gonna win. And I was like shaking. And I totally forgot that I was alternate on vault because Shao was like, okay, Charlie, like you have to go vault. And I was like, what? Like I'm done. He's like, no, you have to vault, like you're alternate. And I was like, oh my god, like if you actually make me vault right now, I'm gonna cry. Like I can't do this right now. Like I did my part. Like I'm not I'm not ready. So I warmed up vault and was like, okay, like I'm done. Like I'm actually done because nobody needed me to fill in.
Yeah.
Um and that was like the most it was like actually like a movie watching vault and p bars happen. The crowd was like insane, like actually
Yeah.
insane. um like even during my floor routine I usually can be like block out a crowd when I'm going, but that like I heard like so loud, but it was so like I don't know, uplifting because the whole Michigan like families were on one side and was all just like all Michigan. Usually you can see the sections where like different teams are, but it literally looked all Michigan. Um, so and I remember my floor team specifically, I know I scored like way lower than I could, but I had sprained my ankle like 2 weeks prior and I could not stick a landing. Like genuinely could not stick a landing. Like even like a back tuck. It was so painful. So the fact that I like stuck my dismount was just like it was such a relief. I was like, okay, like thank God. I don't know. Um so that was just a whole like crazy experience. My floor routine. I was just so happy and like relieved that I finished the season on a high note. That was my main goal. Finish the season feeling good, knowing I did everything I could. And I know I did everything I could because I was in like so much pain in that floor routine. I like didn't tell anyone this, but I was in so much pain with my ankle. So that was such a relief. And then when we got to vault, like the last vault, um, I've never felt like such an adrenaline rush. And I usually like don't cry when like I'm really happy or excited. But when we won, like I was just instantly bawling because it was just a feeling of like it all paid off. Like everything I went through, my whole childhood, everything I went through with transferring, because I was so scared I was gonna like with transferring, it just felt like this was the like I was exactly where I needed to be, and this is exactly what was supposed to be happening, and this is like exactly what was meant for me. And I've never felt like that. Um, so it was just like overwhelming emotion. And my parents, like seeing them in the crowd, everyone had their faces on it. It was just overwhelming, like joy. Is all
Yeah,
I could
it
describe it.
was so cool to watch it from home, especially with like how big the crowd was and
Mhm.
everything. And it was like on
Yeah.
ESPN. So it was hopefully like that, like everybody coming out to watch you guys helps you guys
Mhm.
regular season too. And
Yeah.
get more and more fans out to men's gymnastics, because that was like awesome to see for a college champion.
Yeah, it was like from an outside perspective, probably the craziest like gymnastics, men's gymnastics meet that's happened in like years, like genuinely years, because you never see a score actually be that close. Because the year prior, Michigan lost by like we lost by 2 points, and then the year prior it was like 5 points. Um, so the fact that it was 1/10 is actually insane, and I think it brought so many people in to see like a real competition happening where they're like a mistake actually has like gratitude to a score. Is that the word gratitude? Magnitude.
To it.
Um, yeah. So I really hope it pulls in people because it definitely pulled like people that went. I know a lot of people that went didn't watch gymnastics came up to me were like, I'm definitely coming to every single meet this season. So I hope that it pushes more people to come to our meets, or just men's gymnastics in general, because I know it got a lot of viewing on like ESPN, um, and then like the post viewing and stuff. So yeah.
Well, then coming into this season, do you have any like obviously probably a team goal is to win again, but do you have any kind of personal goals that you yourself want to accomplish?
Yeah, so I remember after we won NCAA's, like it settled down. I was kind of like, I was kind of like, what now? Like, I didn't, I was like, I came here like wanting to win a national championship, but like I did not expect it to happen like in 4 months. Like, hello. So like it let me assess like my personal goals. I was like, okay, it did that. That's always going to be my goal again. Same goal this year, same goal next year. But like, what do I want, like personally? Because going towards NCAA's, I kind of like let go of any personal goals and was like, I'm here for the team. Like, it's just college season. I was done trying to do elite at the time. I didn't make Winter Cup, so I was like, this is just college. Where this year's a little bit different. So my goal at the time was make U.S. championships. I had no other goal than that, and I did that. And then I was close to making national team, like point wise at least. So now my goal going into Winter Cup is definitely make national team, or at least get even closer to making national team and qualify to U.S. championships. But definitely make national team, and then my goal personally for the college season is to do like better at Big Tens because I Big Tens I had a few mess ups, and then place NCAA's because I knew I had the possibility, like capability of placing NCAA's if I was as healthy as I was during season, but I unfortunately like sprained my ankle going to it. So staying healthy, A, towards the end of the season, and then B, placing at NCAA's individually would be really cool. Um, but I'm always pushing towards elite too. So national team and NCAA placing would be, I guess, my numerical goals.
Yeah. Well, kind of last question here then about elite gymnastics. So
Mm.
obviously you're focusing more on it. What's kind of your timeline in terms of do you want to continue after college and keep doing elite and going for LA? And then yeah,
Mhm.
kind of take me through that a little bit.
Yeah, so I only have this season and next season on the team guaranteed as of now because next season will technically be a fifth year for me. And like, I don't even know how 6 years work. Like, I know you can do it, but I'm not banking on it at all. So as of now, I'm planning on being done college gymnastics next year. Um, but I'm doing my master's next year, so I'm graduating undergrad this year in biology, and then starting a master's in nutrition next year, which is 2 years. So, and I purposely did that because that leads right up to graduating 2028. So I plan to, after next season, stay for one more year because I'll be here either way doing my master's, and train. Um, I can still train at the gym. I just won't be competing for Michigan anymore and train elite towards LA 2028, and just give it my all and see how far I go. I don't like have any expectations along with that. I just want to know that I gave everything I can towards LA 2028 because that was my goal since I was a child was always to go to the Olympics. So just pushing towards that, and then post 2028 I'll be graduated, and I have no idea if I want to keep going past that. Um, so at least the next 3 years are planned. Maybe we'll do gymnastics. I always joke about going back to tramp and tumbling too when my body gives out an artistic because it's a little bit lighter. But I think I've decided I'm not going to do that. Um, so maybe, but I really like gymnastics like for fun. So I know I don't think I'll ever stop doing gymnastics like as exercise or for fun. I just might like tone down competing a little bit, but the timeline is push elite till 2028 and then decide what I want to do from there. But we'll see. Also, my body, I don't know how much I don't know how much longer I can take, but as of now, I'm good. So
I know I saw a video of you like doing giants on high bars. Anyone like encouraging you like, hey, you should like add them in?
yeah. I don't know. I genuinely really thought about it this past summer because one day I went in the gym and I was like, you know what? I think I can learn a ganger. I like think I can do it in a day. And I got close. I literally like tapped the bar and was like, okay, I have the air awareness. Like I can't pick up the other mats. Like fully not even gonna think about it because I didn't do them. Like it'd be different if I did them in JO and then just like stop doing them. Like I did not do them. Like I cannot do a circle and pommel horse. I can't do like a muscle up. I can barely do a press handstand. Like, oh my God, we do this like tumbling warm up, and like part of it is press handstands, and I'm like, guys, I like can't do it. Because I just like didn't do those things growing up. But high bar, like I have the body awareness for it, so I thought about it and was like, okay, by the time I'm like good at high bar, I'm probably not gonna make a college lineup, A, and B, I'm still a specialist. So I was like, I don't think it's worth it right now. Putting extra stress on my body when I won't be like ever doing it. But I think that's a thing like post 2028 that I would try.
Yeah.
Um, like, because I really like gymnastics, and I really like the other events and high bar and like, oh, if only like beam was literally if beam was another event, I could do all
Yeah.
around. So it's
Yeah.
annoying. But so I think like that's something I want to try post 2028 is like picking up another event, just like a new way to make gymnastics exciting because I love floor and vault, but like obviously after a while it gets repetitive. So I think that would be a fun way to spice it up, and that's why I'm always playing around on beam because it's like in my head it's like another event, like I'm training another event. Um, so we'll see. Like maybe I'm not doing rings. Oh my God, no. Um, maybe P bars. I don't know. But yeah.
What's your beam skill set? Can you basically field a full routine or
Yeah, I actually have like multiple routines. I have my elite and college. Um so I don't
That's
know, I
awesome.
always switch it up. I every single day I don't do floor and ball every single day. And I break it up like as of now, my training days are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I do floor and ball, and Tuesday and Thursdays are just lighter like therapy. But also Tuesdays and Thursdays I do beam, like to like because I have to rest my ankles, but like I can do that. So every day I'll go in and be like, okay, I have to hit like three skill sets of my college routine and then three skill sets of my elite routine. Like it's like one is like aerial lele and the other is just handspring step out, layout, step out. When I was home over the weekend, I like went through a college beam routine of like handspring step out, aerial, switch leap, gainer full. Like
That's
it's just like
awesome.
it feels like another event I'm training. And I genuinely do think it's helpful. Like I know some people argue that it's like not helpful and it's just more strain in your body, but I'm like, I actually don't think so because it's like you have to be quick, you have to have quick twitch, you have to be straight,
Yeah.
like you have to like I think it's like it helps my other events, especially floor a lot. Like staying straight on the vault table. I've like seen payoff. And it's also good leg strength and ankle strength. So um yeah, that's just like another little thing I like to do. So
Probably. Okay, well, that was all the questions I have. I really appreciate the time and everything.
yeah,
Always
thank you.
enjoyed your gymnastics.